very suspicious things have been happening in Iran. Not many of them are. Israel is reporting some of them. Now, how is that linked to them being potentially behind this? We still don't know. Officially, Iran did not confirm that Israel was behind the Bandar Abbas port explosion, the other explosion that happened later on. Now, Israel is saying that there were multiple explosions in Iran and their commando is suffering a huge blow, according to them. But what we're seeing is, well, various reports of various explosions happening in Iran. There was another report saying that, an underground ammunition depot has been hit. Something is happening in Iran, and something is happening consecutively. You don't have coincidences like that. As a matter of fact, the one with the port was already suspicious anyway. 4 explosions, not one explosion, happening simultaneously, which indicates that this is a case of sabotage. But then later, more explosions happening like that, timed with simultaneously with all of these escalations happening, with Yemen striking Ben Gurion, Israel retaliating and increasing, the talks that are happening between the United States and Israel's interest in hindering any prospect of reaching a deal. Netanyahu ideally wants the US to attack Iran and have a coalition that would potentially include NATO with Iran. But I mean, good luck recruiting the world for your war. You're not able to recruit the Israelis for your war. Over 50% of Israelis are refusing to serve. You want to recruit what? Europe for you, or who? Even the United States is facing so much resistance, internal resistance from people from within, veterans and people who are in the army as well, intelligence speaking up as well, people who resigned from the Biden administration too. But the what's happening in Iran is quite suspicious. You don't have attacks like that without any reason. Multiple mysterious, they're calling them. Other reports said mysterious attacks happening in Iran. Motorcycle factory in Mashhad, the country's north. Another one warehouse. Another one ammunition. All of that. So that's quite serious. Is Israel having a covert operation, covert sabotage operations inside of Iran to try and destabilize the country and potentially push Iran for a bigger attack or a response? Are they trying to make Iran attack Israel? Well, that could be an attempt. But from an Iranian perspective, Iran knows the situation that it's in. Firstly, they're trying really hard to show that what Yemen is doing is pure Yemeni. And there are many reasons to believe that, by the way, despite Iran supporting them. There's nothing wrong with Iran supporting another country. Like, other countries support other countries. Absolutely legit. Totally fine. Let alone if it's a country doing things against a genocidal entity. I mean, that's the international community's duty, isn't it? However, Iran is saying that we have nothing to do with it. They made their own decision. Yeah, we might be cooperating with what we have before, but they make their own decisions, and these people decide to continue. And they are taking this action to target Israel because it's committing a genocide. We have nothing to do with it. We attacked Israel. We attacked them twice, but we attacked them as a response to their aggression against us. Now, they're not likely to take action, as in Iran, unless they have a very solid proof or have a very solid declaration of an Israeli attack against them. That's not to say that they're not in a position to, but no, they are in a position. As a matter of fact, international law grants Iran and other countries to conduct a preemptive strike against Israel. Why? Because Israel is a terrorist entity committing war crimes with a wanted war criminal and threatening its region altogether, constantly carrying out strikes against everyone. in Gaza, the West Bank, Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, Iran, threats against Jordan and Egypt, threats against Saudi Arabia too sometimes. This is a country that is a destabilizing force, a genocidal force. Therefore, Iran is entitled to carry out a preemptive strike whenever it wants against Israel. But that clearly isn't the path that it chose, for multiple reasons, for internal politics reasons, for reasons to do with their general approach of not really wanting to be in conflict, but wanting to dispute, to resolve disputes through peace, by diplomacy. It's Israel and its backers who constantly have the hostile approach towards Iran, towards any other country that has any level of independence and acts based on its national interest, its people's interests, and has full sovereignty, and doesn't shy away from declaring that, and doesn't lick the boots of anyone. So if they come up at some point in Iran with a proof, evidence that, look, Israel indeed did this operation, or if they don't, but say, we have no doubt that Israel conducted this operation and they said they're going to attack us, therefore, bang. That's the situation where Iran could attack Israel. Unless that is, Iran surprises us, like they surprised us back in April 2024. No one thought, hardly anyone thought that Iran would attack Israel in April 2024. Even I myself said that. I said, I don't think Iran would attack Israel before they attacked them. In April, they conducted one of the largest, not the largest at the time, drone attacks against the country with, of course, ballistic missiles. Then that was followed by the October. So that was called True Promise 1. Then October followed. So notice they gave a gap, that there was a time there, half a year. And now we're just half a year from October 2024, meaning similar timeline. Now we already passed the timeline that Iran had between True Promise 1 and True Promise 2. This could be also another signal that something might be coming close, especially if the talks with the United States deteriorate. If Iran sees that Trump is really not that genuine, he's not interested, and he is in the pockets of the Israelis, if he is in the pockets of Netanyahu. Because what we've seen so far is the United States is a foreign agent. Every United States president is a foreign agent for Israel. They do things for Israel, prioritize Israel. They send more money to Israel than they do for their own people going through catastrophes and hurricanes and disasters. So if they reach that point in Iran, they might say, okay, it's going to fail with the US. They gave everyone evidence. So if there are any certain voices internally in Iran that don't necessarily want more, I mean, many people don't want more anyway, but who will criticize them, look, we sat with them. First, we had agreement, they withdrew, not us. We spoke with them before, we spoke with them again, we gave them another chance. Look, they withdrew. What are we left with? So understand our position. And in relation to international law, by the way, Iran still plays that very clearly. So with every attack that they conduct, they will tell you this was based on international law, and they give references, UN Charter, and that's why when some European countries, when some genocide-supporting ex-colonies, ex-enslavers of other nations started to criticize Iran for retaliating against Israel, they didn't say they breached international law. They said we condemn Iran's attack against Israel. But they didn't say they breached international law, because they did not breach international law. They did not breach any line of international law. So if it reaches that stage, or if Israel, during any process with the United States, goes and actually conducts an attack against Iran and admits and takes responsibility, then we will see an Iranian response, unless, again, there would be a surprise.